Hi, guys, and welcome back. My name is Heather, and I'm really excited for today's video. This channel, I will go down with your ship, is your go-to place for romance, writing tips, and just having so much fun. Today, we're going to dive into some fascinating psychology with 4 psychological tricks to enhance your dark romance series. So let's get started. As a reminder, for those of you who aren't familiar, or if this is your first foray into dark romance, something to keep in mind is that dark romance is all about intense emotions, deep connections, and sometimes, most of the time, disturbing themes. By understanding and utilizing these psychological principles, you can create a more compelling and immersive experience for your readers. And that is really important. So let's break down 4 key psychological tricks that can take your dark romance series to the next level. So first up, cognitive dissonance. This is the psychological discomfort experienced when someone holds 2 conflicting beliefs or attitudes. In dark romance, you can use cognitive dissonance to create tension and depth in your characters. For example, your hero might be torn between his love for the heroine and his commitment to a dark, dangerous lifestyle. This internal conflict keeps readers hooked as they see him struggle to reconcile his feelings and his actions. So, in the book I'm currently writing for my dark hockey romance, I have my character Henry, who is very in control. So actually, if you watched my last video where I talked about Levi and Minka, this is Henry, Minka's older brother. And he is essentially the good boy in that he follows all of the rules that are set out for him because order and organization is very important to him. He is also required to marry Freya, who he doesn't really know that much. He thinks that she's beautiful, but the two of them, they hate each other because of this arranged marriage. And she makes him feel out of control. Like she doesn't fall in line, she doesn't follow the rules, and this drives him absolutely crazy. And so he's trying to hold on to the person he should be, but he's forced to marry this person. So, which means spending more time with him. And it means getting into this place of out of control and overwhelm. And these are not situations he likes to be in. So this internal conflict keeps readers hooked as they see him struggle to reconcile his feelings and his actions, right? So by highlighting the hero's internal struggle, you can create a more complex character and a more engaging story, keeping readers invested in the journey. And it also makes them relatable, right? Because there are so many things that we've been told in our life, how we should feel, who we should want, what we should do in order to keep us in line, in order to keep us in this nice little box. And yet we have these feelings and these desires that sort of cross the line into it. And so sometimes it's hard for us to reconcile what's right and what's wrong. And I think that this is why a lot of us are so drawn by dark romance, is because we can explore these themes in a healthy way. So the second tip that I want to give you is the power of vulnerability. Vulnerability is a powerful tool in dark romance because it creates a deep emotional connection between the characters and the readers. So the way that we do this is we show moments when your characters reveal their fears, their insecurities, and their deepest desires. These moments of vulnerability make your character more relatable and human despite their dark and complex natures. So this could be sort of like a big reveal. In the 3rd book of my dark hockey series, Goals and Obsession, my hockey player Liam, he and his brother have an abusive father. And their mother died when she gave birth to Sawyer, Liam's younger brother. And so Liam's father actually at 2 expected Liam to, as men of this prestigious family, we're not going to show emotions. And that was really hard for Liam because his mom died. And so he cried and he got beaten so bad that he still has the scars on his back. And this has caused Liam to be this very stoic, refuse to talk to anybody. He doesn't really have many friends. He smokes cigarettes. Like he just doesn't care. And when he and Ivy sort of get engaged, it's very on her side, enemies to lovers. Liam has always wanted Ivy, and he arranged it so he would have her. But the moment when he finally tells Ivy how he got that scars is so moving because the story has built up to that. In fact, after their first intimate moment together, she notices the scars and he gets really upset when she touches them, and he basically leaves. Like, so for him to come back and actually talk to her about it later on in the book, that's a huge moment because the buildup led to that. And so it's not just about the intimate moments or the dark themes, but how can we have this hero who's so masculine and he's so strong allow himself a sliver of vulnerability? And that's a really great way to show that. And only the heroine can bring that out in him. So by allowing your characters to be vulnerable, you create an emotional resonance that draws readers deeper into the story, making them root for the characters' happiness and growth. So the third trick is the push-pull dynamic. This psychological tactic involves alternating moments of closeness and distance between your characters, creating a roller coaster of emotions for your readers. One moment, your characters might be locked in a heated argument, and the next, they're sharing an intimate, tender moment. This back and forth keeps the relationship dynamic and unpredictable. I can't even read what I wrote. Heightening the drama and the tension. And I think that we've seen this constantly in our shows that we love, where we're just like, just kiss already, and I think that that's great. You can even look at like cartoons like Anastasia or Tangled, where they're fighting and then the next moment they're kind of just, she's telling him about her hair and he's telling her about, oh, my real name is Eugene. And so, but then they're right back to fighting afterwards. And so I think that that is really fun to write, and the readers, even though they hate it, they secretly love it because this is all building up to when they finally get together. The push-pull dynamic keeps readers on the edge of their seat, eagerly anticipating the next twist in the relationship. It also mirrors real-life complexities, making the romance feel more authentic. And that, if you can bring that to the story too, despite these dark themes or these semi-ridiculous storylines, that authenticity is something that's going to ground the reader into your story. And finally, we have the scarcity principle. This psychological trick is based on the idea that people value things more when they perceive them as rare or limited. In dark romance, you can use this principle to heighten the stakes and the intensity of the relationship. Introduce situations where the characters face the possibility of losing each other, either through external threats or internal conflicts, where either one character or both characters haven't worked through that misbelief that they have, or they haven't learned the lesson they're supposed to learn. These moments make the characters' love seem precious and irreplaceable. And so again, we do this. For me, for this dark hockey series, I always have a fight, always. Part of it, it's because readers love stuff like this, where if the hero is defending the heroine's honor or there's a possessiveness about it, I'm going to give the fight. And this is really, really important. In the fourth book of the series, Sweaters and Never, we have the tropes are definitely enemies to lovers, very Beauty and the Beast, and Second Chance as well, because they did hook up earlier on, and Professor Student. There's an age gap. And so Connor Bradley used to play for the NHL, but he got let go when it was found out, or rumors started swirling, that he hooked up with the dean of this college's daughter. And at the time, she was 18, so she was a legal adult, but it still didn't look good, especially since he was still married, separated, but technically still married. And so this whole thing happened. And so they get together because the heroine's father has a vice of gambling. And in order to ensure that Brooke, the heroine, is protected, the dad needs to pay all of his debts. And so Connor steps in and pays the debts, but in exchange, he wants Brooke for himself. And he thinks that he's going to enact this sort of revenge on her because he blames her for the ruination of not only his career, but any potential thought of going into the NHL Hall of Fame, just things like that. And so when they get closer and closer, he realizes that he doesn't want to lose her. And so it worries him when his ex-wife comes out and starts revealing that the two of them are together, because he doesn't want, again, he doesn't want to lose her. At the same time, he also needs to realize that she didn't tell anyone about them hooking up, even though he thinks that he did. And so if he doesn't forgive her for that, if he doesn't accept that, he's never going to get over that, which means he's never going to truly allow himself to love her, because there's always going to be that resentment there. And so those are things that he needs to work out, or else it's not going to work between them. So if you emphasize this rarity and preciousness of the relationship, you create a sense of urgency and importance, making the readers more emotionally invested in the outcome. So let's recap really quick the 4 psychological tricks to enhance your dark romance series. So remember, cognitive dissonance. So create internal conflict and tension, so between 2 things. 2, the power of vulnerability. Foster deep emotional connections. Number 3, the push-pull dynamic. Keep the relationship dynamic and unpredictable. And 4, the scarcity principle. Heighten the stakes and emphasize the preciousness of the relationship. By incorporating these psychological principles into your writing, you can create a more engaging, intense, and emotionally resonant dark romance series that will captivate your readers from start to finish. Well, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe for more content on writing and dark romance. And let me know in the comments, what psychological tricks have you used in your writing? Until next time, happy writing, guys. Bye.